Right now at 5, a big rate hike. The Federal Reserve raising interest rates to stem high inflation as the threat of a recession looms. Plus,
it truly was an accident that it happened. It's unfortunate, but they do need to be accountable.
Deadly heat for dogs. One Connecticut town is issuing a warning about dogs being left in hot cars after one died.
Also, catalytic crime. One Connecticut bus company targeted for catalytic converters again, even as a new state law tries to crack down on thieves.
Plus, West Nile watch after Connecticut detects its first mosquitoes with the virus. Find out what you can do to avoid an infectious bite, including watching what you drink. And later.
The big question is, are there more white sharks, or are we just, paying more attention?
Tracking sharks as more are spotted along the New England and Long Island coasts. We'll tell you what you need to know before going out in the ocean or the Sound this summer. Those stories and more on the Fox 61 News at 5.
Fox 61 News at 5 starts now.
And we begin with breaking news here at 5 in Southbury, where state police are investigating what's being called some kind of medical incident. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brent Hardman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yeah, troopers have been at a home on Oldfield Road for several hours now. Fox 61's Gabby Molina is live at the scene with some new information we've just learned in the past few minutes. Gabby, what are they telling you?
Well, Brent, Sarah, there is still a very large police presence here at the scene, so I'll step out of the way so you can take a look. And like you mentioned, we've learned here that there is some type of medical incident going on at this home. State police did say that they are investigating and that this is active and ongoing. They did say there is no threat to the public at this point. Now, like you mentioned, state police have been on scene for several hours at this point. We've even seen the major crimes unit, that we have reached out to state police to ask if anything suspicious happened or why the major crimes unit is here on the scene. We haven't heard back yet about those details, but again, they did say that there is no threat to the public and that their investigation is ongoing. Again, several unmarked state police cars, also some Southbury officers on the scene, and state police major crimes. So we are working to learn some new details about what's going on here. As soon as we learn more, we'll pass that along to you. Live in Southbury, Gabby Molina, Fox 61 News.
All right, Gabby, thank you. Well, the Federal Reserve is raising interest rates once again to their highest level in more than 3 years.
Yeah, the central bank announces another hike by 0.75%. It's attempting to stop high inflation and avoid a deep recession. Fox 61's Matt Karen joins us live in studio to tell us why many people in Connecticut are concerned over the possibility of a recession. Matt.
Yeah, guys, that's right. Today, the Federal Reserve has announced their fourth raise in interest rates this year. It's all in an effort to cool inflation without sparking a recession. All right, we're having a problem with the story there. But I guess we're not able to get the story. We should probably just move along. But certainly the Federal Reserve has raised the interest rate again by 0.75%. Certainly a lot of people are concerned about that. It's a good thing if you have a lot of money in the bank. That means the money that you have in the bank is making more money. If you took out a loan, it means you're going to be paying more back, whether you're buying a house or a car. But it's certainly something that we'll be watching very closely as we move forward.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, we'll hopefully get your story in momentarily. Well, stocks gained steam into the close of trading tonight. The major averages responded to that interest rate and finished sharply higher. The Dow gained 436 points. The Nasdaq added 469 and change, and the S&P tacked on 102 points. That's pretty easy. All right, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with a look at that forecast. Much better news there with the forecast. It was just a really pleasant day.
All right. Yeah, and good news, especially if you like the summer heat, because it's coming back.
It is coming back, and the humidity roaring in along with it. You're going to feel it through the overnight, and especially when you wake up tomorrow morning. Let's take a live look right now over Groton, where you're seeing a boat passing by. It's just so beautiful. Almost a hazy look to the sky there, even though we don't have a lot of humidity. 80 degrees there right now in Groton, but it's warmer for the rest of the state with temperatures in the low to mid 80s. So the humidity comes back later tonight into tomorrow. We do have the chance for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. The problem is it's like rain roulette tomorrow. Some towns will get a nice tropical downpour and other towns will get little or no rain at all. So I want to make sure I manage your expectations here because I know there were a lot of disappointed people on Monday. While some areas got rain, others did not. We will see increasing clouds as we head through the evening tonight as a warm front approaches, and the warm front's right in here. And again, that's what will bring the humidity. Low temperatures tonight, not as refreshing or comfortable as they were last night into this morning, dropping around the 70-degree mark. And heading through the day tomorrow, it's going to be very warm. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. Best chance for a shower is going to be first thing in the morning and then again later in the day and at night. But most of the time in between will be dry. We'll take a look at another shower chance for Friday and a look ahead at the weekend coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And a Fox follow-up tonight. A Wolcott bus yard is targeted by thieves stealing catalytic converters once again.
Yeah, it's an issue growing across Connecticut, but a new state law is attempting to stop criminals from reselling these converters. Fox 61's Tony Terzi is live in Wolcott to tell us why police are paying even closer attention to this bus company. Tony.
Yes, they are, so criminals beware. Right here, buses similar to this mini school bus have been the targets of these criminals of late. 7 buses just like this one, which only weeks ago had new converters put in, are now back in the shop in Seymour because they've been swiped again. Early Tuesday, the same 7 minibuses that had their catalytic converters swiped last month were hit again.
Around 10 minutes to 2 in the morning, a black vehicle pulled in, looks very similar to the one that was there in June. They were in the lot about 25 minutes to half an hour.
Costing approximately $1,500 per converter to replace, according to the bus company. And right after this theft, 3 more vehicles nearby had their converters stolen, including 2 at the Wolcott Inn and Suites. That's one of 2 vehicles a family of 4 from Louisiana had their vehicles cut out of at the hotel.
We came out to run some errands for the day, and when we got in the truck, we started. It was really loud. I looked underneath to see why it was so loud, and my converters were missing on my truck.
A new state law took effect July 1st, aiming to discourage this trend.
What it does is it effectively makes it so folks that are in the industry of purchasing catalytic converters have to document the sale.
And that's to prove the seller is the actual owner.
We said we could do this, but then we kind of sat back and said the best way to attack this is not to be part of it.
Albert Brothers in Waterbury is the state's largest metals recycler.
So effective 7/1, we stopped purchasing any converters with the hopes of deterring any type of misconduct in the community.
Now, Albert Brothers says before they stopped paying for these converters, they would pay typically $15 to $65 for each converter. And I know you're asking, well, why are the larger buses not having their converters stolen? As I'm told, because they're diesel, the converters are smaller, don't yield as much dough, so not worth it. We're live here in Wolcott. Tony Terzi, Fox 61 News.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Yeah, right now at 5, police are investigating a crash. A person was killed in a crash on a busy section of Route 6 in North Windham. Happened between the Walmart and Aldi around 8 this morning. Route 6 was closed in both directions for several hours so crews could investigate and clear the scene. North Windham's fire department says the road reopened around 1 this afternoon. Stay with Fox 61 for updates on air, online, and on the free Fox 61 News app.
President Joe Biden is out of isolation now after testing negative for COVID-19. In a letter, the White House says symptoms are almost completely gone and he is no longer taking any anti-COVID drugs like Paxlovid. The president tested positive on Thursday and spoke at the Rose Garden at the White House this morning.
Thankfully, I'll now be able to return to work in person, but I want to thank you all for your well wishes, your prayers over this past week and the calls I've gotten.
The White House doctor says President Biden will still undergo increased testing due to the risk of a rebound infection.
And in your Health Watch at 5, more mosquitoes have tested positive for West Nile virus in our state. The latest were found in Hartford, and last week West Nile was detected in southwest Connecticut. Mosquitoes there. Fox 61's Carmen Chow is in New Haven, where experts are trapping and testing those mosquitoes.
A scientist I spoke to says there's actually over 50 kinds of mosquitoes out here, but there's only that one kind that does transmit West Nile virus, and he says now more of them are populating. Darien, Fairfield, New Haven, Stanford, and now Hartford, the 5 towns and cities where mosquitoes tested positive for West Nile virus.
That heat wave that we saw last week really helps accelerate things.
Philip Armstrong with the Connecticut Agricultural Experiment Program has been trapping and testing mosquitoes in recent weeks. And he says the virus typically pops up in late June or early July, marking this year to be on the late side, though late summer and early fall is the peak risk. The one mosquito that carries this virus is called the northern house mosquito, usually found in urban and residential areas.
Those catch basins that you see on the side of the road, those storm drains, can serve as sites for mosquito development.
So if you do get bitten, there is no reason to be alarmed, but just know the virus is expected to amplify in the next few weeks.
So if you're getting bitten by a mosquito, that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to seek medical care. Most mosquitoes do not carry the virus.
There are symptoms, according to Dr. Ulysses Wu, chief epidemiologist of Harvard Healthcare, on how to tell you have been infected.
Things that they should look for is fever, headache, bright light bothering them, maybe some neck stiffness.
Some ways to protect yourself include wearing bug spray with at least 30% DEET. Avoid being outside during dusk and dawn. Wear light-colored clothing or clothes that cover your skin. And lastly, use mosquito netting if you plan on sleeping outside. So far, there have been no human cases detected, but it is predicted we could see our first human case either next month or sometime in September. Reporting in New Haven, Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Thank you, Carmen. New details at 5 in New Haven, where police are investigating a crash between a scooter and a school bus. Police say the person on that scooter was taken to Yale New Haven Hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The crash happened near the intersection of Howard Avenue and Portsea Street just before 1:30 Tuesday afternoon.
And new at 5 in Vernon, no swimming in the pond at Valley Falls Park for now. The town posted on Facebook elevated levels of bacteria have made it unsafe for swimming. This video you're seeing now was taken after the pond was shut down for a weekend last summer due to rust-colored water. This summer, the town is hoping the pond will reopen later this week after it retests the water tomorrow.